Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Usually when I read other people's work to you, it's somebody famous. Well, this guy is sub-famous, but he's also a friend. And I just thought reading one of his things to you. He's a psychotherapist specializing in a form of cognitive behavioral therapy. And this blog post, which appeared in Psychology Today, is called Depression, Your Elusive Secondary Disturbance. Do you get upset about being upset? Do you feel guilty about getting angry at a loved one? Anxious about being embarrassed in front of an audience? Depressed about experiencing ever-increasing panic attacks or having lifelong depression? If so, you have experienced secondary disturbance. Getting upset about initially having been upset, that's the secondary disturbance. No, excuse me, I'll say it right. Getting upset, which is the secondary disturbance, about initially having been upset, that's the primary disturbance, tends to be both pervasive and elusive. The primary disturbance occurs first, then comes the secondary disturbance, since chronologically it occurred second. Therapists may fail to recognize the secondary disturbance in their clients, since it's not anchored in a concrete external event. In fact, Freud mislabeled it as free-floating. It is rather directly tied to irrational thinking. Use this rule of thumb to nail it. When feeling anxious, depressed, or guilty, ask yourself, am I depressed about my emotion, that is, the anxiety, depression, or anger, or about an external situation, that is, for example, rejection, failure, hassles? If it is the former, then you probably have a secondary disturbance. Here is a client's comprehensive, what's called 3-minute exercise. He calls it 3-minute exercise, something that you would write. As a result of writing those 2 or 3 times a day, he ultimately beat his secondary disturbance blues. A, I'm feeling depressed and lethargic again about nothing in particular and everything in general. B, I absolutely must not feel depressed and lethargic so much of the time. C, even more depressed and lethargic. D, what is the evidence I absolutely must not feel this way so often? E, there is no evidence to support my demand, although I keenly prefer not to feel so miserable. Nothing etched in stone states I must not. Since I was born with imperfect genes and an imperfect brain, and I was raised by fallible parents, of course I'll feel depressed at times. So I'm depressed, too damn bad. It is unpleasant, but hardly the end of the universe. Though I don't like it, it hasn't killed me, so I obviously can stand it. I can still enjoy life, somewhat, feeling depressed. Although I'd enjoy it more if I were happy all the time. It may slow me down, but it can't stop me from working toward my goals, as long as I'm determined to keep pushing myself, no matter how difficult it seems. If I'm depressed, I'm depressed. Whining and complaining about my depressed state certainly won't help. There's certainly no reason the universe must protect me from the pain of depression. I've been depressed before, and I've gotten through it, and I will again. My depression waxes and wanes, as do all emotions. To have the benefits and pleasures of living, it's necessary to have the displeasures, including depression. Why not use this situation therapeutically as a golden opportunity to practice viewing my depression realistically as just a great hassle, never a horror? I'll keep pushing and keep reminding myself to keep pushing. And F, concerned, not depressed, about my depression and lethargy, pushing myself to get active. Rule of thumb, the more you write E about why your must is false or self-defeating, the more effective your 3-minute exercise will be. Try one now. In any event, this is the blog post called Depression, Your Elusive Secondary Disturbance by Dr. Michael Edelstein. And I'm Marty Nemko. I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts and his efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, which usually consists of my self-help advice, occasionally interspersing others, as well as my playing the piano. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Marty Nemko.